All right, it's a beautiful, lovely Monday morning, and we want to specially thank you and welcome you on board, rebranded, re-engineered, revitalized breakfast current affairs program on television. It's our countdown to the 2023 general election. So welcome on board the Nigerian Decide Studios of Independent Television. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. As you can see already, I'm not alone on the set. I've got my colleague here, Rosa Agbalaho. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Yes, Sunday morning is a new dawn.
Yeah.
And I'm highly delighted to be part of this wonderful program that will actually prepare Nigerians for the presidential and national assembly election.
Yeah.
It is a defining moment in the annals of democratic rule in Nigeria. Nigerians are palpitating, salivating, waiting expectantly for the 25th of this
February.
Just 12 days away. The presidential election and national assembly election will be on the way. And I know that it is a time that Nigerians will actually decide who will be the next president, because the current president, Muhammadu Buhari, has said he's ready to go. And that gives some kind of confidence, some kind of credibility to the conduct of the election by INEC.
Okay.
So if the president says he's going to leave, then it is expected that citizens play their part.
Absolutely.
Cast their vote for their preferred candidate and get it right. So it is a wonderful, wonderful time, and I'm excited to be part of this history.
Fantastic, Rosa. Just like you said, it's a defining moment for Nigerian politics. We're looking forward to that particular moment where all of these will cascade into reality. A lot of preparations have been going on in the last couple of years, as a matter of fact, at the level of the political parties, but most especially at the level of INEC. And then we're just at that point now where we'll see where all of these plans and preparations that have taken place in the last couple of years, how it will pan out. Okay. But I think the most, the biggest innovation for the election is BVAS, the system that has been developed for accreditation and voting. There was a dry run or a test run, particularly in the Osun governorship election, that brought a lot of some criticisms. But one man who stood out in saying that, look, those who are criticizing it are those who want to rig election, like is always the case in Nigeria. Barrister Mike Igeni. Hopefully we'll have him here on the program as we go on the countdown to the election day proper. But that has been one of the biggest innovations to the election. In time past, it wasn't legalized, but I know that the Electoral Act has accommodated it now. And so that makes it a legal platform to conduct our election. So we're going to see how that will shape up the 2023 presidential election. And I think in a sense, a lot of people are more anticipatory on the presidential election as against all other elections. Yeah, you want to share some comments along those lines?
Yes, you just mentioned an electronic device that is very, very pivotal to the success of the conduct of the 2023 general election, BVAS, bimodal voter accreditation system. Is an electronic device designed to read the PVC, the permanent voter cards, and to authenticate as well. Now, we must say kudos to Professor Mahmood, the INEC chairman, for this innovation. Now, he needs to write his name in gold, and I think he's already doing that, and he needs to be courageous. And I think he has exhibited that. Because INEC is the umpire. And before now, Nigerians seems to be skeptical about INEC. Now, but with the body language and the public comments of President Buhari, INEC is emboldened. INEC has shown that as a commission, they are ready to conduct a credible election. Don't forget, it is a global village. The international community, they are interested in what will be happening from on the 25th.
Yeah.
Before the 25th, they've monitored the process. We saw the mock accreditation done recently, and that seemed to have given some kind of confidence again to Nigerians that, okay, INEC is ready.
Yeah.
Once the umpire is ready, every other thing will follow suit. Now, for INEC with beavers, it means political tawdry will be eliminated.
Completely.
Now, it is also believed that from the polling booths, once beavers accredits a voter, it means that is the authenticated voter.
Yeah.
So, for people to hold PVCs, just like they used to do, because politicians are very smart.
They are.
And cunning. Now, for you to hold PVCs and have the very wrong perception that on the day of election, you'll be able to maneuver the process.
You probably will share it to your supporters and lawyers and expect them to go and...
Beavers will expose you.
And I mean, Beavers is going to eradicate that completely.
That's it. So that is also a step to credibility.
Yeah.
A step to the fact that Nigerians should be assured that this election will produce credible leaders, will produce their preferred candidates. Not when election results have been announced, you see Nigeria, well, we knew my vote won't count.
Yeah.
This time around with beavers, the votes of Nigerians will count.
Absolutely.
Because beavers as an electronic device will authenticate the voters. So those who participated in the election are actually the voters.
Absolutely.
So whatever the outcome of that process, it means that that's the outcome of what you voted for.
Absolutely. I mean, the expectations are high about the 2023 elections, and I think INEC has given us reasons to believe that they will live up to expectations in terms of conducting an election that will be free, fair, credible, and transparent. But the onus is also on the electorate, you and I, to ensure we come out en masse and cast our votes. If you haven't gotten your PVC, I don't know how much time you have left, but I've gotten mine. I'm sure in the course of our countdown to the D-Day, which is February 25, and then on the 11th of March, you have the governorship and the State House of Assembly elections. We'll be here to show you our PVCs. That's the passport that you need. That's the vehicle that you need to be able to participate in the election. I'm also concerned about the fact that in our electoral processes over the years, we've seen this issue of number of registered voters and then number of people that actually come out to vote on election day. The margin is usually very, very wide. And then if you look at this preparation for this election, there are some people that are yet to pick their PVCs. I read something over the night, someone saying that, look, consistently and persistently he's been disenfranchised by INEC because he tried to ensure that he gets his PVC by transferring from one location to another, and it has not really seen the light of the day, and that has consistently disenfranchised him. But you find that most Nigerians, or some Nigerians, will wait till the D-Day before they want to get their PVC. I'd like to get your thoughts along those lines.
Yeah, it's always been a nagging problem. Sometimes before any election, there's always an exercise which has to do with voters, picking their PVCs and all of that. We must also commend INEC again. They've extended the exercise to actually allow Nigerians to participate actively and pick their PVCs. So INEC must be commended for that. Any Nigerian or any citizen or any voter that hasn't gotten his PVC, I think such a person has himself or herself to blame for that because they've given ample time for Nigerians to participate in the process. But I must say something here that, yes, we seem to have a problem of voter apathy over the years. But that's the reason why in my introductory remarks, I actually brought in Mr. President, because once the head is doing well, the body will do well. The president has spoken. The president has given Nigerians the confidence, has given Nigerians the assurance, rather, that he's ready to live. He's ready to live. He's ready to allow the process to be free and fair. So, it is left for Nigerians now to do their part. INEC has said no more extension to the collection of PVCs. Once again, I commend INEC for what the Commission has done so far. I think the level of confidence, the level of assurance seems to be high. And it is believed that the issue of voter apathy this time may not play out. Now, let me give you some parameters for you to really understand my line of thought. Now, 18 political parties will be contesting for the various positions on the 25th, the presidential election, the National Assembly election. Now, before this time, in the history of democratic rule in Nigeria, is normally dominated, most probably, by just two political parties. The election that brought in the incumbent, President Muhammadu Buhari, and some of the leaders, election between APC and the PDP. But as I speak, that is not the case this time around. That is not the scenario. Now, some political students will say, okay, we have a third force. There's a third force now. And there are some other political parties also making waves in certain parts of the country. Now, some groups are already predicting that, no single political party can get 70% of the votes, no single political party can get this and that. That is to tell you that the awareness is high. Sonny, you'll agree with me.
Absolutely.
Voter apathy will be eliminated from the 25th of this month because of that third force scenario where we have other political parties apart from the dominant APC, the ruling party, and the major opposition party.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen the kind of massive participation by the youths, who of course dominate the population of any country. So we're going to see an increased participation. I can assure you on that. Voter apathy may not play out this time around.
Okay, we have those numbers, very interesting numbers, statistics that, in the public space. In the 2019 election, you had about 70 million registered voters.
Yeah.
And of that number, you just had about 35% coming out to vote, which means about 65% of registered voters didn't vote in 2019. But like you mentioned, there's been a resurgence of Nigerians coming out to register and indicate interest to vote. That's also not unconnected with some of the developments in the country. The cost of living is high, the insecurity situation, the economic situation, and what have you. That has, awakened Nigerians to say, look, especially the youths, they are awoken to the reality that, look, we need to take our country back. We need to rescue Nigeria. I mean, those are different slogans that you are hearing. Yes. But all of them geared towards the fact that there is this awakening, and that awakening has brought about more people registering, wanting to participate in the election so that they can actually change the narratives. Mr. President has said oftentimes that, look, I just want to go to my home and rest. That he's in a hurry to leave. But of course, it's a process. It's a process. It also brings us to the question, or to the issue that until you get into government, really, you may not be able to appreciate the gravity of what you're getting into. And that brings to mind some of the challenges that we have in leadership. When you have people that are not prepared for leadership coming to office, they will be overwhelmed, they will be emasculated, they will be sesquated, and that's exactly what is playing. And at the end of the day, you don't find the purpose for such a leader coming into office. But we're hoping that this time around, all of that will be a thing of the past, with everybody coming together.
So now I must interject and actually state this, that yes, for now, Nigeria as a country is bedeviled by myriads of problems. The petrol scarcity is a very major problem that needs to be tackled by government and by the relevant authorities. Now, a new scenario which has never evolved in Nigeria has also cropped up, and that is the Naira shortage.
Naira scarcity.
Which I can, we can also say Naira scarcity.
Naira scarcity.
Now, these are some of the myriads of problems. Insecurity is there, we know that. But these are
current issues
problems,
now that are really taking a toll on Nigerians. You want to buy fuel, you need money. And you get to the petrol station to buy petrol. The attendant tells you, look, I won't take old money.
I need the new currency.
And now you don't have the new money.
Yes.
Okay, let me use my ATM card. You bring out your ATM card, you do the transaction, you are debited, it doesn't get value for the money, and then there's a stalemate. I mean, you see all the drama that has been happening all across the country over this issue. Because these are things that bother us on our very existence. It's about survival. And so even if you have to bring us such a policy, as legitimate as it is, as legal as it is, as good and germane as it is, you have to look at all other factors that will make it work. Those in the rural areas, in the communities, in the villages, they don't have access to some of the things that we have in town. So how will these guys get access? I mean, I was pretty young when I knew when there was a Naira swap some long time ago. But you just take currency to the bank, give you one. Now you take currency, the bank is safe from you. The bank will give you this, you don't stand there. So give you one and take. I also the person that should take responsibility is here. This is governor. Because the banks are already now the bank policy compounds where they don't know they stop with their vaults, and then they use it now those bills to cover the inside. I'm verified. I'm verified. And he was there. The money was back. They used all this to cover. They are paying professional this business over here. If you see life and right, that's the face you can see how relate with. Why use that word? Now, this is country elephants fly. We've seen persons are accused of stealing public funds. And let's make information like, so billions of naira eaten by an animal. It happened in Nigeria. So, there's skepticism, there's fear. Nigerians are scared. Nigerians are very, very difficult to convince Nigerians. When you see such media, I don't say this response. I don't see that word. So Nigerians know, this can be stigmatized. It is left for CBN to actually what is right. CBN introduced the currency, the notes, it is also left CBN dead right. But the point I want to make here is that some Nigerians believe that immediately after the election, these Naira shortage, Naira scarcity, as the case may be, will fizzle out. That's the belief of some Nigerians. Some Nigerians believe that something is going on in the minds of the CBN governor, and only the CBN governor understands what's going on within him. Now, because Nigerians are suffering, Nigerians are passing through a lot of trouble, a lot of problems. But I must tell you that despite these challenges, for the first time, I've seen that the problems have not affected the desire of Nigerians to vote for their preferred candidate. They are not even disturbed that, there's petrol scarcity, there's insecurity, there is a Naira shortage, there's this and that. They are just waiting for that date. You know, all of these things you're talking about has even encouraged more people to have the zeal to vote. Now we'll take a break. It's still Nigerian Decides live on independent television. We'll take a short break. We've already have the resident electoral commissioner, INEC resident electoral commissioner in the studio. We'll be engaging him on set in a moment. We'll also be having a sponsored interview by one of the candidates for Oredo Federal Constituency in a moment. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with you on the show. Don't go away. Thanks again for rejoining our live studios of Nigerian Decides on independent television. Beautiful Monday morning. It's part of our countdown to the 2023 general election, so you have the privilege to know more, learn more, and be abreast with all the happenings in the build up to the 2023 election. We'll be bringing all the political bigwigs, major stakeholders in the 2023 election to our studios, both here in Benin and in Abuja, just to help you make sense of the whole process. Before we call it a wrap, 18 political parties will be featuring in the 2023 election. As is always the case, some of the political parties are very popular with the electorate, some are not so popular. But you also have instances where some of the candidates at their individual levels are very popular, but maybe their political party, because of age, size, influence, and spread, they are also not popular. I'm just looking through some of the list of names, and I saw that there's even a female presidential candidate in this 2023 election.
That of the presence of a female presidential candidate, I can't really comment on that, because only the women understand why they don't support women. You know, they seem to support the men. But I must say that 12 days to go, 12 days before the presidential and National Assembly election, I can't wait. And I know that Nigerians are really, really waiting for that day to come. But we must state clearly that this is a defining moment. Now, the bane of underdevelopment is attributed to bad leadership. In other words, every voter counts. Every voter is important. Your vote determines who leads, determines who occupies public office. So if you don't vote, indirectly, you have just undermined the process. And if the bane of underdevelopment is attributed to bad leadership, you've contributed to that. So every Nigerian must participate. You must cast your vote for your preferred candidate based on your parameters. I can't choose for you, but it is believed that you must look at credibility, you must look at capacity, you must look at antecedents, you must look at, you know, has this candidate gotten what it takes to catapult Nigeria to higher pedestal? Because some persons believe that Nigeria is just in the woods right now. And if you are aware of the brain drain from the academia, if you are aware of the brain drain, even from the medical profession, invariably this will affect Nigeria as a country in the long run. So, elect credible leaders so that they can fix Nigeria and make Nigeria a country that will attract investors, a country that will enjoy international credibility and confidence. So I think this is very important.
Very important. I mean, for any country to make progress, get the right people in place.
Yes.
People that are knowledgeable, people that are savvy, people that are smart, people that are intelligent, people that have they understand the situation, the realities on the ground, and then they can proffer solutions. For too long, we've been in the doldrums of underdevelopment, and it is time for us to take our destinies in our hands and do the right thing and move the country forward. 18 presidential candidates. Our court party has a presidential candidate, incidentally, is from Edo State, Professor Christopher Emumole. And then, of course, I talked about the Allied People's Movement presidential candidate, who I think is the only lady in the presidential race, talking about Princess O.J. Chichi, one of the female presidential candidates, I believe the only one. And then you also have Major Hamza Al-Mustafa. Of course, you remember him back in the days, in the dark days of the Abacha era. That's a thing of the past. But in all of these, the emphasis is that we look at all the presidential candidates and search your heart and your mind, find the one that suits your mind, the one you think has the capacity to deliver. President Muhammadu Buhari has given us a head start. Go out there, vote the candidate of your choice that will take Nigeria out of the woods and set us on the path of peace, progress, on the trajectory of development. That's our takeout today on Nigeria Decides Live Studios on Independent Television from Lagos.
Yeah, do have a wonderful day, and like I've said, Nigeria Decides, very important. As media practitioners, will play our part to keep you updated with the happenings, to keep you updated with the electoral process, the politicking, and all that is going on. And most importantly, to keep you abreast of the fact that your vote counts. On that note, I say do have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead.
Okay, tomorrow we'll be back here again with a fresh episode of Nigeria Decides on Independent Television. And we hope to see you then. Do have a great week ahead. Bye for now.